Welcome to BNEWS Weekly. I'm Phil Gallagher, along with BNEWS Director Rich Hosford, BNEWS reporters Tad Stefanak, Robert Paris and John Vias, Peter Brown with the weather, Joe Vashoni with sports, and Maddie Shipka with Community Calendar. Thank you for joining us. There was a special Board of Selectmen meeting on Wednesday to discuss a proposal for the town to purchase a residential home near the town center in an effort to keep it out of the hands of a developer. BNEWS Director Rich Hosford was there and has this report.
A good-sized group of residents gathered at Grandview Farm on Wednesday evening to voice their opinions about a proposal that the town purchase a residential home with the intent of keeping it from becoming a commercial enterprise. The home in question is 17 Sear Street, the yellow house across the street from the Burlington Public Library and near the town center. The owners are looking to sell the property and have been given a good offer from a developer interested in purchasing the property, tearing down the home, and building a daycare center in its location. This use would be allowed due to a state law that allows certain types of businesses, including daycare centers, to operate in residential zoning. The meeting Wednesday was held to give residents an opportunity to express their thoughts in the lead-up to next Monday's Board of Selectmen meeting, when the board will vote to put the question of purchasing the property before a town meeting. One person who spoke is former state rep Charlie Murphy, whose property abuts the house in question, who said a business in any residential neighborhood is a bad fit.
It's just a bad location, just as if pick any neighborhood in town and put a commercial building in. Secondly, this property happens to abut the town campus, the town hall, fire department, the whole nine, and is part of the town center. So here's an opportunity that the town fathers have to maintain the center as a town center, as a place where people want to go or hang out and visit.
Going into Monday's meeting, the board has a couple of options to consider.
We have a couple of different options. The first option would be to simply do nothing, which would then leave it up to a number of town meeting members to get it on some sort of a referendum to have it added to the May town meeting. Or we have the ability to vote to enter into a purchase and sale agreement pending vote by town meeting with the intention of purchasing the property or part of the property or whatever comes out of the discussion.
One scenario in regards to purchasing the property is for the town to buy it, take 10,000 square feet off the property adjacent to the existing town-owned land, and sell the home with a leftover 23,000 square foot lot. This would be the average for a single-family home, but not big enough for a commercial endeavor. Murphy, who outlined this plan, estimated that in the end, after the house was resold, the town would be paying roughly $75,000 for the 10,000 square foot piece of land.
If the town buys the property, takes 10,000 feet for the town to keep for themselves for down the road, for whatever reason, or no reason, quite frankly, and just sells the property. They'll recoup the money. It'll be, at the end of the day, a short amount of money to the town to be able to maintain the integrity of the town center. I would say that in and of itself is reason enough to make the purchase.
From Grandview Farm, I'm BNews Director Rich Hosford.
A bakery with a name in honor of a beloved, albeit ravenous, Muppet is looking to come to town. The Cookie Monster Bakery has filed for a special permit with the Burlington Planning Department to open a shop at the property located at 68 to 110 Mall Road. The application is scheduled to be before the Planning Board starting on Thursday, March 7th. The bakery has an existing location in Danvers and operates a food truck in the Boston area. The Burlington location, if approved, would be its second location. The bakery specializes in ice cream sandwiches made with cookies, but has a wide variety of sweet treats to offer. In addition to our signature ice cream sandwiches, we offer a rotating variety of fresh baked goods, its website states. Everything from coconut pound cake and banana bread to blueberry buttermilk cake and warm apple crisp cookies are baked throughout the day, so you always enjoy a freshly baked cookie. The Cookie Monster was founded by Missy Gale, self-proclaimed lifelong foodie, who learned to bake from her mom. Residents looking for some furniture have a new place to check out. Oak Furniture Land, opened its first United States store in Burlington's Wayside Plaza last month. The privately owned British furniture retailer specializes in fully assembled hardwood furniture with a focus on pieces made with oak and mango wood. It has been selling in the United States through its website since 2016, but now it has its first physical location in the country. According to the announcement, Oak Furniture Land offers a variety of hardwood furniture pieces in wide ranges of styles, including simple, natural, and rustic oak, rich and exotic mango hardwood, or fresh painted collections. They also have a wide choice of sofa collections in both fabrics and real leather. According to its website, the company sells direct to customers pieces that they contract from local locations around the world rather than using wholesalers as a way of keeping costs down. The Burlington Parks and Recreation Department has put on various activities and events in town for many years. To honor people who have helped and dedicated their time to the department, they have decided to bring back the Hall of Fame event. BNEWS reporter Robert Paris went to learn more and has this report.
For over 50 years, the Burlington Parks and Recreation Department has been entertaining residents of all ages through various town events, activities, and sports. This year, they brought back a ceremony where community partners, volunteers, and former employees are honored. This week, I went down to talk with Parks and Rec Director Brendan Egan about the upcoming Hall of Fame ceremony.
The Parks and Recreation Department Hall of Fame was something that we developed in our 50th anniversary year, and it was designed to honor, past employees, recreation commissioners, individuals or companies that contributed to the success of the Parks and Recreation Department over its first 50 years.
In order to be enrolled into the Hall of Fame, the Parks and Recreation Department are looking for people who have volunteered, contributed, or were a former employee.
People can sign up, they can come get paperwork here at the Parks and Recreation Department. They can get it online on our website. And we have 4 different categories of people who would be eligible, or companies. We have employees, former employees. They would have had to have worked for the Recreation Department for 7 years. We have volunteers. They need to have given at least 2 years of service, or 25 hours of service to the Parks and Recreation Department. Commissioners would have had to have served 2 terms. And then finally, partnering organizations.
The inductees won't be announced until the spring, while the ceremony won't be held until early June.
We're going to have a review period where we'll review applications. Then we'll make an announcement probably in early April, and then we'll have our ceremony in June. We coincided the Hall of Fame with our 50th anniversary gala, so our next ceremony won't be as big. It'll be something smaller, but still recognizing the people for their efforts.
From the Parks and Rec Department, I'm Robert Paris for BNEWS Weekly.
Massachusetts State Police is testing a pilot program intended to increase trooper safety and give the public greater assurance that all interactions with the officers will be documented for greater accountability. Colonel Kerry A. Gilpin, Superintendent of the Mass State Police, announced Monday that the department has begun a body camera pilot program. Devices from several vendors will be evaluated over the next 6 months by approximately 100 troopers. State Police say the cameras will provide an additional level of accountability and accuracy for troopers during their interactions with the public, increase officer safety, and enhance the ability to accurately document the actions of criminal offenders. Mark Lynch, president of the State Police Association of Massachusetts, said his organization will work with the command staff and state leaders to test the cameras and that they support this initiative. The pilot program is expected to run 6 months, and the results will be evaluated after that time. A group of volunteers from the First Parish of Concord paid a visit to the Temple Shalom Emeth to tell their story of their trip to the U.S.-Mexico border. BNews reporter John Vias was at that Friday night service and has this report.
On Friday, February 1st, Temple Shalom Emeth held a special Shabbat service and welcomed 3 volunteer guest speakers from the First Parish of Concord's Unitarian Universalist Immigration Task Force to speak about their recent trip to the southern border and to talk about what is currently happening at the border, the changes made since 2016, the people they met, and the experience those people went through. I spoke with guest speaker Janet Donovan and the Temple's Social Justice Committee co-chair Phyllis Neufeld to find out more information on the subject.
I had worked with immigrants for many years and wanted to find a new way of doing that in my retirement. We did the trail, a portion of the trail, only about an hour and a half of the trail that many migrants travel to get to the United States. So we were on the U.S. side of the border with Mexico. That was a very powerful experience to actually walk in the same footsteps of the people who had gone through that grueling journey.
This was the third Shabbat service held by the Social Justice Committee on the topic of immigration.
We made a decision early on to look at immigration as the major issue that we were focusing on for social justice. Our first service was a service to educate the congregation and community members who came about the plight of DACA, the Dreamers. We found out about the UU Church in Bedford that has a person in sanctuary. Through them, we learned that there was a group that had gone to the border. And so it seemed a perfect way, once we had done the service, to educate the congregants about what we were doing as a resolution and partnering with the UU Church. It was a natural progression to then look at what was happening at the border as we examined the immigration problems and issues and how we could be of service.
Ms. Donovan also said that at times it was difficult to get access to certain places and people.
There were some hoops that we had to jump through. We did visit a detention center and met with some of the people who were being held in detention, but we could only do that through our affiliation with another nonprofit organization who were allowed access by the authorities.
Finally, the message of the service is not to believe everything you hear from one source, but to understand a person's story from a first-hand experience.
I hope people will think of the individuals involved instead of the large numbers that we hear on the news all the time, and really understand that each person has a story, because no one leaves home, leaves loved ones, leaves their country, and goes through the ordeal that we're certain they have been through, unless what they're leaving is so horrible that they have no choice but to flee.
I hope everyone will be more aware of what's happening, not just what's in the news, but also from now firsthand experiences that we've heard, and that they will become active in doing what we can do to help out during this crisis.
From Temple Shalom Emeth, I'm John Vias for BNEWS Weekly.
One journey, one story, one tapestry we weave.
Volunteers who work with a population usually overlooked in charity services were recently honored. Middlesex Sheriff Peter Kutuzin said in a release that he welcomed more than 50 volunteers to the Middlesex Jail and House of Correction on January 28th for a celebration of their service. According to the sheriff, volunteers at the Middlesex Jail and House of Correction provide a wide range of spiritual, therapeutic, and re-entry services throughout the facility. Sheriff Kutuzin said volunteers play an integral part in supporting the efforts the professional staff undertake to help prepare those in our custody to make a successful return to the community. He said his office is extremely fortunate to have volunteers who generously give of their time. In addition to hearing from Sheriff Kutuzin, volunteers were treated to a meal prepared by inmates in the Culinary Arts program, as well as remarks and musical performances by some of the inmates that the volunteers work with on a routine basis. Techbots Guru, a science education initiative with the goal of encouraging kids to develop an interest in how things around them work, offers classes on robotics and other technologies. BNews Director Rich Hosford went to check out one of their classes and has this look.
The event room at the Burlington Public Library was a scene of enthusiastic children learning how to use tech kits to turn on lights, create electronic sounds, power small motors, and build remote control cars. It was a session on circuitry and robotics put on by Techbots Guru, a local STEM education provider that offers roaming classes at various locations in town and in their main locations in the Burlington Academy of Creative Arts and a temple in Billerica. The two women behind the program, both with backgrounds in technology, say their goal is to get kids interested in not only knowing how to use technology, but how it works and what it takes for them to build it themselves.
We teach about robotics, what is behind robotics, what is behind circuits, and how do you program these circuits to make a small robot or a complex robot.
These skills, they say, will empower the students to better understand the tech-filled world they live in and help prepare them for the future.
In today's world, kids are very intelligent and they learn about all the gadgets and smart things very easily. So, and in coming generation, 21st century is a century where robotics and coding are the key skills which every kid should learn.
The children at the event seemed eager to get their hands on the robotic kits, but perhaps less enthusiastic about listening to a lecture. However, part of the process is starting small and having patience while building knowledge over time.
Yeah, it's a bit difficult when we have small kids because they want to do and they don't have patience. So they want to do, but they want to make. And when you talk, when they come for the class, and when you say that, okay, we are trying to tell you about the circuits and robotics, the robot they think in their mind would be a big robot, a giant robot with big eyes and big hands. So first we have to melt them down. We have to tell them that behind every robot there are a lot of circuits. Let's start lighting up a LED. Understand what you need to light up a LED or how to move a small motor. Then we'll move into complex programming and complex circuits.
With some focus and determination, the students will both learn new things and develop critical thinking skills.
It improves their critical thinking, analytical skills, and problem-solving skills. So all these things will help them in whatever field they go up later in their life.
For more information on Techbots Guru, find them under that name on their Facebook page. From the Burlington Public Library, I'm BNEWS Director Rich Hosford.
We go now to BNews weatherman Peter Brown in our Weather Center for the latest forecast. We'll also check out the community calendar with Maddie Shipka to see what's happening in Burlington.
Well, hello everyone, and this is Peter Brown with a look at your weather for the next 7 days, and I hope you got a chance to go out there this past week and enjoy some of those really nice warm temperatures we had. That was really a nice treat, a real early spring type of feel to the air. And as we start out our period this week, look at this on Friday again. We're going to be starting out with temperatures again way up in the 50s to near 60. So if you are out and about on Friday, you are going to have an absolutely beautiful day here in the Burlington area. Now, getting towards nighttime, look at that. Our temperatures are going to drop way down again, but really only down to what they should be at this time of the year for February. And, of course, we're going to be probably breaking this record high, which is, something to say. But we're going to be pretty far away from these record lows. So the record low that we're going to be seeing on Friday and next Thursday, we are not going to be anywhere near minus 14 the next 7 days. So if you were worried about that, not something you have to really think about. And of course, as we get in towards the end of the period, look at this February 14th on Valentine's Day. Our average highs keep going up now, should be in the upper 30s, and that's going to be about where we're going to see the end of our period ending up. And of course, you notice the days just keep getting longer and longer, so we are marching on towards spring. Now, as we go ahead, I'm going to show you a graphic showing what the snowfall cover looks like currently in New England. Now, of course, many of us here in the Burlington area, and especially anywhere in southern New England, this is no surprise. We have really had a lack of snowfall this winter. In fact, if you're in Boston, I believe, has only had 2 inches of snow at the airport this entire winter. And you actually have to go way up into northwestern Maine until you get anything close to over a couple of feet. And this, anywhere really that you see in New England on this map, is far below average for where the average snow depth should be at this time of the year. So our kind of mild winter is definitely continuing. Looks like, though, when we get towards the beginning of next week, we might be adding a little bit to the snowpack. So we might be coloring in with some of these nice colors here down in southern New England. Maybe not too much, but something to keep in mind. Now, as we go ahead, let's take a look at our 7 days and look at those temps and weather coming up. Again, starting on a Friday, it's going to be a little bit dreary out there, so you are going to have some rain showers early in the morning if you're out and about. But it looks like we're going to see some clearing skies as we get towards the lunch hour and afterwards from that. And again, temperatures, look at this, up around 58. So if you can get out after lunch, folks, get out there and enjoy that weather. Because, of course, once we get into the weekend, our temperatures are going to take a plunge down to where they really should be at this time of the year. And if you have to be out Saturday night into early Sunday morning in the Burlington area, those temps are going to be pretty chilly, down around 10, maybe even in the upper single digits. So keep an eye on that. Now, getting into Monday, we're going to see maybe some spotty snow showers moving into the Burlington area. And this is ahead of what might be a developing, rather potent system for our area. We're going to have to keep an eye on this. We're going to be seeing a piece of the energy moving south of New England and a piece of it moving up towards our north and west. So we're going to have to keep an eye out, especially on Tuesday, of maybe some heavier snow in the area. maybe on the order of at least a few inches. So keep that in mind if you do have any travel plans or have to go away for business when you get into Tuesday. But look at this, as we get into Wednesday, we're going to see the introduction of some rain back into it, and highs again up into the mid-40s. And then once it gets to Thursday, looks like our seesaw in temperatures continues back down to near average with fair skies. So everyone, get out there, enjoy the weather, and have a great week.
I'm Maddie Shipka, and this is your community calendar. Make a card for that special someone. On Wednesday, February 13th, from 4 to 4:45 p.m., the Burlington Public Library will be having an event for kids called Valentine's Day Card Making. Come create a special card for someone you love. Everyone is welcome, and for more information, visit burlington.org or call 781-270-1690. The Burlington Players are back. Beginning on February 22nd through March 9th, the Burlington Players will be performing their winter production of Red Herring by Michael Hollinger. The play is about 3 love stories, a murder mystery, and a nuclear espionage plot converging in this noir comedy about marriage and other explosive devices. Everyone is welcome. For more information and tickets, visit burlingtonplayers.com or call 781-229-2649. Enjoy a night of bingo with your friends and family. On Friday, February 22nd at 7 p.m., the Burlington High School Athletic Boosters will be having an event called Rock and Roll Bingo at the American Legion. There will also be prizes and a cash bar. Tickets are $30 per person, and everyone is welcome. For more information and tickets, visit bhsathleticboostersclub.org. I'm Maddie Shipka, and this is your community calendar.
The Red Devil sports teams are battling hard this winter season. For the latest action, we go now to BNEWS sports reporter Joe Viscioni for this week's sports report.
Hello everyone, I'm Joe Viscioni for your weekly sports report. As the regular season winds down, the Burlington High boys basketball team and the Red Devil boys hockey team are still in hot pursuit of spots in the state tournament. The boys basketball team is coming off back-to-back wins over Arlington and Stoneham that improved the record to 8-8 overall before a loss to Belmont on Tuesday. The Red Devils have a huge game at home on Friday night against Watertown. The girls will play the Red Raiders right after the boys game as well. Next week, Burlington plays Melrose and Wakefield in 2 more key Middlesex Freedom Division battles. With a 9-6-2 overall record, the boys hockey team began the season with a 2-4 start. Now as the season starts to rear to the end, they are once again closing in on a playoff berth. BNews sports reporter Robert Paris has more.
They're fast, aggressive, and competitive. The Burlington boys varsity ice hockey team. This week I skated down to the Burlington Ice Palace to check in with Coach Bob Concession on how he and his players have been progressing since the start of the season.
We did get off to a really tough start, but I thought deep down inside we had a good team there. It's just a process to get them to play well consistently, and that's what we needed. We needed to be patient with our team, and I think we're starting to play really well right now.
With the loss of 9 seniors last year, the team is working with their underclassmen on practicing their offensive and defensive skills on and off the ice.
That's kind of the nature of our program right now. It seems like we have a good senior class, and then we're able to replace them. Last year's senior class was special. They won 19 games, and I think a lot of this was our mindset was we were thinking about last year. These seniors want to duplicate that, but this team is a totally different team, and I told these seniors that they have to put their stamp on this team because it's a different set of people.
I had a chance to chat with senior Connor Quinlan about his 4 years of experience with the Red Devils.
The biggest challenge is getting mentally prepared, So we got a lot of young guys, that haven't really been there yet. So it's kind of just we got to get mentally prepared for these games because we know we can play with everyone. So that's kind of just what we think about pregame. We get everyone motivated to play every game.
As the season starts to wind down, the Red Devils are looking to finish this year on a high note.
Well, I think that qualifying for the tournament hopefully, and then making a strong run in the tournament. We get a great end of the year schedule. We have some tough games coming up. We want to finish strong in our league and then finish strong outside our league as well.
From the Burlington Ice Palace, I'm Robert Paris for BNews Sports.
Last week, the Red Devils beat Arlington in an upset that secured BHS 2 huge points. Saturday, Burlington plays in Stoneham, another important contest. Several other Burlington teams have important events on the horizon. The track and field teams had their league matchup meets earlier this week. The gymnastics team will be competing in the state meet next week, and the Red Devil wrestlers will be in the sectional action this weekend. Once February comes around, it's Beanpot time, and while there are no Burlington players in the men's Beanpot this year, there's still plenty of Burlington flavor in the women's Beanpot, which takes place at Harvard University on the first 2 Tuesdays in February. The Boston College women's team has 2 Burlington women on its roster, Olympian Callie Flanagan and former BHS standout Kelly Brown. The girls suffered an upset loss to Harvard in the first round of the Beanpot on Tuesday, but will have a chance to get back on track this Tuesday in the consolation game against Northeastern University. Also, shout out to the Patriots and Tom Brady on securing their 6th Super Bowl title. Anyways, that's all for your weekly sports report. I'm Joe Viscione, and back to you guys in the studio.
We have one more sports story. The best is yet to come for Burlington High girls hockey. With a competitive lineup featuring 10 middle school players, this Lady Devil squad is poised to be a force to be reckoned with in seasons to come. BNEWS reporter Tad Stefanak went to meet with the team and has this report.
With the season coming to a close, the Burlington High School varsity girls hockey team is still on the hunt for that elusive first win. But with the help of their captains and coaching staff, this Red Devil squad has a positive future. With a team featuring 10 middle school players, and they all hit the ice. Head coach, Marty Conley.
It's been a rebuilding year, and so it's an opportunity for the kids that we have on the roster to gain some valuable experience, and assuming we get most or all the kids back next year. Our leadership group this year is awesome. We have a great group of captains. And they knew coming in that, we're going to be a young team and it's going to be a little bit different kind of season. So it's been an adjustment for them.
It is harder with the younger kids, but they're doing a great job keeping up with us at a varsity level. It is different, but it's good to have them.
Our seniors and our captains have been here when we've put together league championship seasons. And they've been great about it. They've worked really well with the younger kids.
We've been doing team activities to get everybody involved. We've been also having pasta parties to keep everybody together. And it's been really working out. Everyone's been close.
The season has been kind of frustrating, but we're all fighting through it together as a team. And we're going to pull out a W at some point this season.
Their leadership has been awesome in the locker room, on the ice, off the ice.
With their exceptional leadership in place, I asked the younger players how they're adjusting.
I think I'm learning a lot from the whole team, and I really look up to them and what they do, and they really help me out.
It's definitely been a lot tougher playing with high schoolers instead of middle schoolers because it's obviously a different age for girls and they're bigger and stronger and faster, so I have to keep up and work harder.
It's different because they're such on a faster speed time. Once you come up to the high school level, you become more competitive.
It's asking a lot of 7th and 8th graders, a roster primarily made up of 7th and 8th graders, to go beat high school varsity team that has maybe 6 or 8 seniors and 5 or 6 juniors on their teams.
It's really different. They're so much older than us, but you don't really notice. But you can tell they have more experience than us.
I mean, we still run the same practice. We're still trying to develop the kids so that they each become better hockey players and we're a better hockey team by the end of the season.
And at the end of the day, I asked Coach how these young players are coming along.
We're anticipating that we're going to be a very competitive team next year and going forward into the future because there are some very good hockey players on this team.
All the girls in 6th, 7th, and 8th, the ones here now and ones coming up, we're all getting stronger each year and we're getting better, so we're going to be a force to be reckoned with.
From the Burlington Ice Palace, I'm BNews reporter Tad Stefanak. Back to you in the studio.
Even a perennial powerhouse like Burlington boys and girls hockey every once in a while has to rebuild. We'll be seeing those names quite a lot off into the future. Another week, another photo to highlight. This week we have a photo of one of the greatest athletes of all time and a local hero. It was sent in by Sushila Patel and shows none other than New England Patriots quarterback Tom Brady, also known as the GOAT, greatest of all time. At Tuesday's Super Bowl victory parade in Boston, the Vince Lombardi Trophy was also making an appearance in this shot. Thanks for the photo, Sheila, and congrats to the Pats on their 6th Super Bowl win. We'd like to see your photos. They could be of something you see around town, the weather outside your own door, or photos of your family members, friends, and pets. Whatever you think is interesting and would like to share. Email your photos to bcat@bcattv.org with the subject line Photo of the Week. Okay, don't forget to go to our website and sign up for our daily email, edited by BNEWS Director Rich Hosford, with as much daily news as we can put together for you. Okay, that's it from the news desk here at BNEWS Weekly. I'm Phil Gallagher with Rich Hosford, Tad Stefanak, John Vias, Robert Parrish, Peter Brown, Maddie Shipka, and Joe Viscioni. Have a great weekend. Thank you for joining us.